प्रेमानन्दे गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. You're all welcome for morning Bhagavatam class at Sri-Kṛṣṇa Balaram Mandir, ISKCON Vrindavan. With my humble obeisance to Prahlānand Maharaj, Brother Bhagavat Swami Maharaj and all the senior Vaishnavas. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 54th chapter, the marriage of Kṛṣṇa with Rukmī. And we are in this section which says Rukmī get released, and this is from verse number 32 through 36. So next section also we have to complete today till verse 40. So we are starting from verse 35. So let us recite this verse. cailena baddhvā tamās asādhu-kārīṇaṁ sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ pravapan vyarūpayat. Tvam mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam yadu-pravīrā nalinīṁ yathā gajāḥ cailena baddvā tam asādhu-kārīṇaṁ sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ pravapan vyarūpayat tāvan mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam yadu-pravīrā nalinīṁ yathā gajāḥ cailena baddhvā tam asādhu-kārīṇaṁ sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ pravapan vyarūpayat tāvan mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam yadu-pravīrā nalinīṁ yathā gajāḥ cailena baddhvā tam asādhu-kārīṇaṁ sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ pravapan vyarūpayat tāvan mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam yadu-pravīrā nalinīṁ yathā gajāḥ cailena baddhvā tam asādhu-kārīṇaṁ sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ pravapan vyarūpayat tāvan mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam yadu-pravīrā nalinīṁ yathā gajāḥ cailena baddhvā tam asādhu-kārīṇaṁ sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ pravapan vyarūpayat tāvan mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam yadu-pravīrā nalinīṁ yathā gajāḥ cailena baddhvā tam asādhu-kārīṇaṁ sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ tāvan mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam yadu-pravīrā nalinīṁ Mataji. cailena baddhvā tam asādhu-kārīṇaṁ sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ pravapan tāvan mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam yadu-pravīrā nalinīṁ yathā gajāḥ cailena baddhvā tam asādhu-kārīṇaṁ sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ pravapan vyarūpayat tāvan mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam yadu-pravīrā nalinīṁ yathā gajāḥ cailena with the strip of cloth baddhvā tying up tam him asādhu-kārīṇaṁ the evil-doer sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ leaving some of his mustaches and hair remaining pravapan by saving him vyarūpayat made him disfigured tāvat, by then. Mamarduḥ, they had cursed, para, opposing, sainyam, army, adbhutam, extraordinary, yadu-pravīrāḥ, the heroes of the Yadu dynasty, nalinīm, lotus flower, yathā, as gajāḥ, elephants. Translation. And one line purport by the disciples of Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Kṛṣṇa tied up the evil-doer with a strip of cloth. He then proceeded to disfigure Rukmī by comically shaving him, leaving parts of his mustaches and hair. By that time, the Yadu heroes had cursed the extraordinary army of their opponent, just as the elephant curses a lotus flower. Lord Kṛṣṇa used his same sharp sword to give the wicked Rukmī a peculiar haircut. So we have to go a long way to finish up to 40 verse. So in this verse, first just have this wonderful analogy is given, that the father of Rukmī is like, Bhishma is like a milk ocean. And he has Rukmī came out of the churning of the milk ocean as Lakshmi. But the first elder son Rukmī is like halal poison. So this is the simile given, that the father of Rukmī is like a milk ocean, and the first son born is like churning of the milk ocean, and the poison came, so Rukmī is poison. And the daughter Rukmī, Ruk actually means ray of sun. So she is shining like a ray of sun, and she is a expansion of Radharani, which is full Tapta Ganjan Gaurangi, and all the queens of the Dwarka are Bimba Pratibimba of Radharani. So Rukmī is Lakshmi. She came out of that ocean. So Rukmī is here, the verse says, cailena means piece of cloth. From where Kṛṣṇa got this piece of cloth? From the turban of Rukmī himself. He got first his turban with his sword, cut a piece of that. With his left hand, he hold the head of Rukmī. Like putting there's a piece of cloth he put around the neck of Rukmī, and with his left hand, he is holding like that. This is Acharya write that. So cloth he got from Rukmī's own turban and put around his neck and left. With his right hand, he was doing something, sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ. And the word is pravapan means shaving. With what? Which instrument is using? His own sword. Kṛṣṇa is using his own sword. And the word sa-śmaśru-keśam means he's making a design. He's cutting some cases on the right side and leaving some here and cutting some left on this, making a beautiful designs there, and one side mustache and other side beard. So he comically, the disciple, comically he cut his haircut. Why? Asādhu-kārīṇaṁ. Because he is an evil-doer. What is evil he has done? The evil he has done is the Rukmī who wanted to marry Kṛṣṇa the father and mother also were willing to hand over the Rukmini to Kṛṣṇa, he become evil-doer. And giving to the Rukmini to the Shishupal, which is going to be killed by Kṛṣṇa. So what he was doing is the greatest evil action he was doing. Therefore, Kṛṣṇa comically cut his hair. What is the result of that cutting hair? Vyarūpayat. Vyarūpa, roop means figure. Vyarūpa means disfigured. So he was now disfigured. And in a Vedic culture, cutting the hair means killing somebody. It is as good as killing. Generally when we shave our head, it means we are dead for the world. We are only now in service of Kṛṣṇa. That is the message, that when we cut hair, it means we are dead for the world. This is the Vedic culture. So you are dead for the world. And now you are only completely dedicated to Kṛṣṇa. That is every fortnight when we cut hair, this should be the consciousness. Cutting hair means renouncing the world. It means I am dead for the world. For the world I am dead, but for Kṛṣṇa I am fully in service. Now this is these two lines speak of that, and for that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Rukmī, Kṛṣṇa is thinking, Rukmī should never come and do mischief again. Thinking thus, Kṛṣṇa was thinking, this Rukmī should not do the mischief again. So Kṛṣṇa showed his contempt for Rukmī by making his body with some ugly figure to let him remember his defeat and dissolve his pride. Two things. Therefore, some commentators say, sometime Kṛṣṇa actually picked the hair along with root that they should never grow again. It means his disfigurement will continue till he live, so he will remember I was defeated and his pride was smashed. So this was the purpose of Sri Kṛṣṇa. So he wanted to smash his pride and remember him that he is defeated. So he picked some hairs from the roots, so they will never grow again. That is the comment of some acharyas. Kṛṣṇa tied him up by the neck with a wrap of cloth, using his left hand. While holding up the two ends of that cloth, Kṛṣṇa took his sword in his right hand, knocked off Rukmī's turban, and then shaved off bits of his mustaches, beard, and hair at the root. That's at the root. Drying blood, which means they should never grow again, and there should be beautiful marks on his head for future to remember. With scraps of remaining here and there, Rukmī looked completely disfigured. So this is the one side. The other side is by that time. So you remember the scene. Scene is like that. On one side, Jarasandha, Shishupal, Shalva, and all the Dandavakar, all the enemies of Kṛṣṇa and Yadus, they were having their camp. And all of a sudden, Kṛṣṇa arrived there and followed by Balaram with one, say, Akshuni of Yaduvanshi army. Everybody said, how come they came? Who invited them? This was a big discussion there. Who invited them? Bhishma wrote the letter of invitation. Rukmī did not dispatch it. So Rukmī said, I never dispatched. How come they came? So there was a confusion whether they came in the marriage of Shishupal because he is related to Kṛṣṇa. They both have the same, the mothers are sisters. But Maharaj Bhishma arranged very nice arrangement for Kṛṣṇa and all Yaduvansis. Jarasandha said, well, now there is a risk because these animals are here. Anybody can, kidnap would-be Shishupal's, what's called, bride, okay? So they arranged the military on both sides of the road, on the horses and on the elephants, vigilant with the all weapons, that nobody should, no bird should fly there. They were so vigilant. And on that day, as Rukmī wrote in a letter to Kṛṣṇa, I will be alone with the elder Brahman ladies and some my friends. So Rukmī was going alone with some Brahman lady and some friends into the Ambika temple for worship. And during the worship, Panditji was saying, worship Ambika, and Rukmī is saying, Ambika, please bless me that I should get Kṛṣṇa as my husband. She was saying this in a halt along with the other mantra, and she came out. So when she came out with her left hand, she simply moved her hair a little back, and she looked, and seeing her charming face, it was like mesmerizing. All the soldiers from their elephant and horses along with their weapon, they fell down like a ripened fruit on the ground. So actually Rukmī has arranged everything for her to be kidnapped. It's not Kṛṣṇa has done much effort. Rukmī has arranged everything. Now all of a sudden, sometime you visit this Kondhanipur where we have a beautiful ISKCON temple. And that ISKCON temple has a one tree called a parijat tree. They call kalpavriksha, parijat tree. So many local people come and worship that tree. And it is said that Kṛṣṇa has kept his chariot under that tree at that time. And there is a small river, and other side is a temple of Ambika. So from there, Kṛṣṇa immediately, he just reached there. He just put his hand down, and Rukmī immediately caught hold the hand, and Rukmī is on the chariot. And Kṛṣṇa has taken the Rukmī as lion take his share from the surrounding of the, what is called? Jackals, Gidar. Gidar se share apna bhag le gaya from the jackals, right? This is the scene. And now, when Rukmī is kidnapped, everybody, what happened? But how long they will fight? They came for a marriage party, not for fighting actually. So their mood was not fighting mood. They were there in a feasting mood. So the whole army came up, and Rukmī asked, what will happen to Kṛṣṇa? Kṛṣṇa said, don't worry, Balaram and my army will take care of them. So this verse says, tāvan, by that time, mamarduḥ para-sainyam adbhutam. Wonderfully, the opponent armies were cursed by yadu-pravīrā. Yadu-pravīrā means great soldiers of Yadu. Balaram, Gadda, they were the powerful soldiers. They were a big army there of so many generals. Jarasandha's army was there, Shishupal's army was there, Rukmī's army was there. But this Yaduvansi army, this is the word nalinīm is singular. And gajāḥ is plural. Gajāḥ means elephant. Nalinīm is like a flower, it's a lotus. It means that whole army is like a lotus flower for these great elephants who are the Yaduvansis. They uprooted everything and everything was finished. So two things are happening simultaneously. On one side, Rukmī is disfigured by Kṛṣṇa, And the other side, Rukmī's army was defeated wonderfully by Yadu army. Now next scene. Now the Yaduvansis are going to reach to Kṛṣṇa. So when they reached to Kṛṣṇa, what happened? That is the next verse. Okay, this verse I think I have to chant. Laghu Bhagavad Amit has said the same thing almost. Okay, this is the next verse. Kṛṣṇa nitikam upavrajya drish. This I have to read. I think there are many verses. We have done that. Kṛṣṇa nitikam, near to the Kṛṣṇa. Upavrajya, when they were approaching Kṛṣṇa's chariot. Dadrishu tata Rukmanin, they saw that Rukmī, with a great shame, his head down as if he is dead. So Dadrishu tatra Rukmanim, they saw the Rukmani also. Tatha adbhutam hat prayam drishtva sankṛṣṇo vivuhu vimucya baddhvam karuno bhagavan Kṛṣṇam abravīt. So what happened is this scene now, the translation. As the Yadu, whole army along with Balaram, approached Lord Kṛṣṇa, means his chariot, they saw Rukmī in his sari condition, disfigured, with a great shame, his head down, almost like dead. Practically dying shame. When all-powerful Lord Balaram, Sankṛṣṇa Bhagavan, saw Rukmī, why word Bhagavan is used? When he saw Rukmī, he compassionately released him and spoke the following to the Kṛṣṇa. There's no purport to this verse, but the Acharya write few lines. Why Bhagavan? Balaram was knowing. He has now two things in mind, Balaram's. One thing is Rukmani. She is completely devastated because seeing her brother, though against her in that position, and she is new in this company, she never saw before Kṛṣṇa. So Balaram wanted to please Rukmani and satisfy Rukmani. This was his first intention. And second intention, he was knowing what are the future pastime of Kṛṣṇa, that this Rukmī, he's released. How he released? He went all the way to the chariot. Balaram went all the way to the chariot, and in the left hand of Kṛṣṇa, that was that piece of cloth by which the Rukmī he was holding. He took the piece of cloth from Kṛṣṇa's hands, and he released Rukmī. Who released Rukmī? Balaram. Why? Because of compassion. But this is surprising. He is Bhagavan, he is knowing that he is to be killed by me, not by Kṛṣṇa. Because Balaram is going to kill Rukmī in upcoming pastime when the son of Pradyumna is going to marry the daughter of Rukmī. At that time on a dais, Rukmī will be insulting Balaram, and Balaram will kill the Rukmī. So as a Bhagavan, he was knowing the future pastimes. So he said, it's not Kṛṣṇa for you to kill, he is my share. So now leave him alone. In this situation, because particularly Rukmani needs to be pacified and satisfied. Therefore he spoke to Kṛṣṇa as elder brother now. What he is saying, let us listen. Chakravarti Pada, out of compassion, Balaram took the cloth from Kṛṣṇa. Balaram took the cloth from Kṛṣṇa. Was holding in his left hand and released Rukmī from the noose. He released Rukmī from noose. So now what Rukmī is doing? He's simply just sitting there, helpless. Next. Laghu Bhagavad or Laghu Vaishnava Toshni says, yadu sa Rukmani, that disfigured condition, almost dead from shame, but it is not proper to release such an offender. Balaram was omniscient, Bhagavan, and like Rukmani, he knew the suffering of Rukmī and the future pastime of Kṛṣṇa. These all things are noted by Sanatana Goswami Pad and Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. So he was knowing this is what is in the future. So Rukmī was related to Kṛṣṇa's first wife. Seeing both Kṛṣṇa and Rukmani, Balaram, filled with shame, spoke them both. Kṛṣṇa only is mentioned since Balaram spoke to him mainly, but he spoke to both. What he spoke, this is the verse. Asādhu-kārīṇaṁ tvaya Kṛṣṇa कृतं असमज्जुगस्मितं व्यपनं sa-śmaśru-keśaṁ vyarūpyam suhrido vada. Balaram is mildly chastising Kṛṣṇa as a younger brother to appease Rukmani. He is saying, Lord Balaram said, my dear Kṛṣṇa, you have acted improperly. It says, actually the word says, us means we all, is including himself. This deed will bring shame to us. Yadu never do like that. With whom? For to disfigure a close relative by shaving off his mustaches and hair as good as killing him. You have not done good thing, Kṛṣṇa. He's our relative. He's a brother of your first wife. This is not Yaduvansi's behavior, standard and morality. You have done something wrong. Asādhu. This is not praised. Asādhu-kārīṇaṁ. Tvam, Kṛṣṇa. And purport, omniscient Balaram knew that Rukmī was the guilty party, but to encourage the lamenting Rukmani, he decided to gently reproach Sri Kṛṣṇa. Chakravarti Pad writes, Balaram said, death itself would have been more proper than shaving him with your sword. Kṛṣṇa, better you should have killed him. This is worse than that. Which has made his face ghastly. Balaram gently reproached Kṛṣṇa in order to console the lamenting Rukmani. Internally, however, Chakravarti Pad said, internally, however, Balaram was thinking, oh most clever brother, you have done what is proper and acted quite rightly. This is interesting. Internally he is thinking, what's wonderful you have done, my brother, perfect. But externally he was showing younger brother, not good thing. Okay. This expressing satisfaction, Balaram spoke this verse. Thus expressing satisfaction, Balaram spoke this verse. Though Rukmī is factually an enemy, not a friend, in this verse, Balaram sarcastically call him Sohirt. He is not Sohirt, he is not well-wisher. He is Dohirt. He is our enemy. But he used this word, which means well-wisher, friend or brother-in-law. He said Sohirt. But actually, he is not. And Laghu Bhagavat Vaishnava Toshni says, Balaram addressed Kṛṣṇa by his principal name because of his arousal of affection as his elder brother. Kṛṣṇa, he said Kṛṣṇa. It means he has affection for Kṛṣṇa. So he said like that, we are winners now. We got Rukmani, we defeated them. So he was actually jubilant to say Kṛṣṇa. It's not proper for the Vrishnis who are most famous, with you as its crowning achievement, to do a condemned action. What was that action? Out of shame. Balaram did not mention it in the beginning. So in the beginning, Balaram is not saying in his address at the end, because he was feeling, to the Rukmī, he's showing that we are feeling really ashamed for doing this, disfigurement of your brother. But there's 17 and a half verses spoken by Balaram. And a lot of philosophy will come. So he will talk to Kṛṣṇa, he will talk to Rukmī, he will talk to Kṛṣṇa, he will go to the Rukmī, back and forth. And ultimately he will say, by the way, Rukmī, is he really your brother? He was actually against your will, and getting you married to the Shishupal. Still you think he is your brother? My God. Balaram ultimately somehow convinced Rukmī and she was pacified. So it says further, out of shame, Rukmī, Balaram did not mention it in the beginning. He then mentioned it in the last line. You shaved his head, but it is not a small punishment, for you disfigured him also. He criticized Kṛṣṇa to pacify Rukmī. He thought he can be criticized because he is related to me. He is my younger brother. I have a right, I can say this to him, to pacify Rukmī. Rukmī then become ashamed afar by scolding Kṛṣṇa. Now Rukmī also become ashamed because Balaram is chastising Kṛṣṇa just first meeting of Kṛṣṇa and Rukmī, and Balaram is chastising Rukmī. So Rukmī was also ashamed for by scolding Kṛṣṇa. She also became scolded. He did this to teach Kṛṣṇa. This was his mercy. That is understood in later verses as well. This is the commentary by Sanatana Goswami Pad and Rupa Goswami. The next verse. Now, Balaramji is addressing to Rukmī. Maevasam sadhavi asu yathā bhratur vyarūpya chintaya sukha dukkha donah chanyasti yathā swakrta bhuka puman. She is addressing Rukmī. Saintly lady Sadhavi, saintly lady, do not be displeased. The word is asūya. Asūya, this is very common word in our whole philosophy. Suya means finding fault in somebody. Asūya means don't find fault among us. So this asūya, Kṛṣṇa says, those who are anasūya way, those who don't find in me, they can understand the knowledge about me. Anusūya way. Anusūya means not finding fault anybody. So please, Rukmī, don't find fault in us. Why? He will tell in next verse to Rukmī. That for a Kshatri, for a warrior class, Brahma has ordered that in a war he can kill his brother. What can we do? So don't find fault in us. This is part of the dharma, swadharma of a Kshatriya. So don't find fault in us. Displeased with us. out of anxiety for your brother's disfigurement. Next line, bhratru viprupya chintaya. Because you are chintaya means you are in anxiety. Chintaya, chinta kar rahi ho, chintaya about your brother's disfigurement. Please, no one but oneself, now the philosophy, no one but oneself is responsible for one's joy and grief. For a man experiences the result of his own deeds. So it is the karma of Rukmī. So don't really get upset with us for your brother's disfigurement. Chakravarti Pad writes, to dispel Rukmani's sadness, Balaram reasons with her in this verse. Everyone must enjoy or suffer the result of his acts. What is this useless affection for this most wicked person who acts against your own husband? Balaram gently scolded Rukmani also. Chakravarti said, he scolded Rukmani also. This person you are lamenting for, an anxiety for, he is against your husband. He wanted to kill your husband. He came here to kill your husband. What do you think? So he deserves this punishment because this is his own wrongdoing. Right? This is what Balaram's mood is. And Laghu Vaishnava Toshni says, though Balaram spoke to Kṛṣṇa in this way, Rukmani did not give up her grief. So, first verse, Balaram told Kṛṣṇa, please, this is not good for our Vrishni. We never do like that with our relative. But still, Rukmani was grief-stricken. Therefore, though Balaram spoke to Kṛṣṇa in this way, Rukmani did not give up her grief. He then consoled her directly in this verse. Do not ascribe fault to Kṛṣṇa. This is the first word, asuya. Don't find fault with Kṛṣṇa. Don't find fault with Kṛṣṇa and others. Others means we also actually did something to your brother's army that is also defeated. Do not ascribe fault to all evil, even if there is a cause. On the other hand, happiness and distress are not caused by others, but by oneself, just since the jiva, Puman, enjoy the result of his karma. So, this is Balaram's philosophical explanation along with this situation. Now, the next verse. We are in verse 39. Bandhora vadhartha doshapi na bandhora vadham arati. Now he is again talking to Kṛṣṇa. Tyajaha svainaiva doshena hatakim hanyate punaha. Again addressing Kṛṣṇa, Balaram said, a relative should not be killed even if his wrongdoing wants capital punishment. A principle, relative should not be killed even if his wrongdoing wants capital punishment. So he is our relative. He should not need to be. Rather, he should be thrown out of the family. So this is a Vedic custom that if some relative done something wrong and needs capital punishment, excommunicate from the family. It's a principle. It's this principle like if the finger is giving trouble to the whole body, then cut the finger and save the body. If one person in the family is giving a disrespect to the family, get that person out. This is the philosophy spoken by Vidur to Dhritarashtra when Duryodhana was speaking ill about the Pandavas and particularly Vidura. At that time, he was telling at that time, this is the principle or this is the philosophy. So, Balaram is speaking, he should be thrown out of the family. Since he has already been killed by his own sin, why kill him again? So by his sin he is killed, why to kill him again? So let him go. I think most of us all are aware that Rukmī pleaded, please don't kill my brother. And Kṛṣṇa spared the life of Rukmī, but then he disfigured him. So purpose is to further encourage Lady Rukmī. Balaram again emphasized that Kṛṣṇa should not humiliate Rukmī. Not humiliate Rukmī. So again, so he is speaking back again to, and Chakravarti Pad writes 2 lines. In order to satisfy Rukmī, Balaram instructs Kṛṣṇa in morality in this verse. So this is a morality. What is the rule in a family? A relative should not be killed by a relative, and a brother-in-law should not be killed by a sister's husband. So he is your brother-in-law. So he need not to be killed. And Laghu Vaishnava Toshani says, seeing her still in grief, Balaram then scolded Kṛṣṇa in order to remove her grief. The relative should not be killed by a friend, bandhu. He should be rejected. This shows that he should be disrespected but cannot be killed. Just as killing a person who should not be killed is a fault. Not killing a person who should be killed is a fault. But he is killed by his own fault. What is the use of again killing this person who is killed by rejection of society, which is equivalent to death? What it means? This means he already has announced there, if I will not be able to get my younger sister Rukmī back from Kṛṣṇa, I will not come in this city of, what is the Vidarbha. I will not come with Vidarbha. So it means he is not going to his all family and relative back. So he is already excommunicated with them. He is going to establish his new city called Bhojkat. And he is only the one person during Mahabharata war who was not accepted by Kauravas and Pandavas both. Rukmī was not accepted by Pandavas, not accepted by Kauravas. He was the only at that time the Kshatri who did not take part in the war. So, because he was too proud, still he was proud at that time. So they both rejected him. So this says, rejection society. Society has rejected, means both Kaurava and Pandava rejected in future, in upcoming war also. By giving Rukmī to another person, he has been ostracized. Disfiguring him is death, since it causes more grief than death itself. It's more than death. Disfigurement is more than death. Last verse for today. Now Balaram is again addressing Rukmī. Kshatriyanam ayam dharmaha prajapati vinirmitaha भ्रात्रापि भ्रात्रम हन्यात येना घोरतमस्ततः. Turning to the Rukmī, Balaram continued again to the Rukmī. The code of sacred duty for warriors established by Lord Brahma enjoins that one may have to kill even his own brother. That is indeed a most dreadful law. The Kshatri law. Brother can kill brother, father can kill father. This is all whole, this Kurukshetra war, the brother were killing brother. And once Srila Prabhupada saw this picture of Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna of Bhagavad Gita. He was looking at that picture and said, Kṛṣṇa has to kill all his relatives to get his photo with Kṛṣṇa. It's not easy to get the photo with Kṛṣṇa. Arjuna has killed all his relatives. Then he got his photo with Kṛṣṇa. So it's a big sacrifice he has done. So this is a very, the word is dreadful. This is very dreadful dharma. Sanskrit word is, this is ghoratam. Ghora, ghoratar, ghoratam. Ghora, ghoratar, ghoratam. It means it is ghora, it means it is, what the word should be for a ghora. Here say ghoratam means terrible. Terrible, more terrible, most terrible. It's ghoratam. Then there's a purport by Srila Prabhupada's disciple. Lord Balaram, in the interest of fairness, is giving a complete analysis of this situation. Of the situation means all this, what happened during the marriage of Rukmī, fight. Although one could not kill a relative, there are extenuating circumstances according to the military codes. In the American Civil War, which took place in the 1860s, many families were divided between the army of the North and that of the South, and thus fratricidal killing unfortunately became a common affair. Such killing is certainly ghoratam, most dreadful, yet such is the nature of the material world, where duty, honor, and so-called justice, three things, duty, honor, and so-called justice, often create conflict. Only on the spiritual platform, in pure Kṛṣṇa consciousness, can we transcend the unacceptable pain of material existence. Rukmī was maddened by pride and envy, thus could not understand anything about Kṛṣṇa or Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Chakravarti Pad writes, Balaram speak again to Rukmī, who was saying in her mind, means Rukmī was saying in her mind, your younger brother does not know this rule. Which rule? The relative should not be killed. Balaram said, the scripture order that one should even kill one's brother. What to speak then of brother-in-law who is so vile? What to speak? Brother can be killed, so what to speak of brother-in-law? And who is also very vile. And then few lines from Laghu Vaishnava Toshni. Since she still did not give up her grief, he again tried to enlighten her by showing Swadharma of Kshatriya. This dharma of Kshatriya, obligatory action generated by karma, is that a brother must kill his brother in just war. Just war. Just war means dharma yudha. This is dharma because it has been created by Brahma. This means it is directed by Vedas. Therefore, this is terrible. This is terrible rule since it involves killing a brother. Sridhar Swami agrees with this meaning. And here we end our today's quota of the verses. So, Balaram is trying to pacify Rukmī, and for that he was mildly saying some words as elder brother to Kṛṣṇa, which has double meanings. And then Balaram's this discourse will continue upcoming more almost 14, say 12, 14 more verses. Till Rukmī is pacified. Then Rukmī is released. And he will go and create his own village. And then this whole Yaduvanshi army, Kṛṣṇa and Rukmī will come back to Dwarka at a place which is called Madhavpur, where Rukmī and Kṛṣṇa get married. So there are 3 marriages of Rukmī and Kṛṣṇa according to the Vedic knowledge. First is called Gandharva marriage, by love letter. Second is called Rakshas marriage, kidnapping. It's called Rakshas marriage according to the marriage they kidnapped. And third is called Vedic marriage, when now it will come beautifully decorated whole Dwarka with the elephants and coming. The Pandavas came and Maharaj Bhishmak also came, and there was a real big marriage of Kṛṣṇa and Rukmī in Dwarka. So there are 3 marriages, the Gandharva, the Rakshas and the Vedic between them. So now this Balaram will continue for at least a couple more days. There it was in a few minutes, but we have to go for a couple of days. So here ends. Any wise words of advice, Maharaj? Any comment or question? Sadhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Usually we hear about giving up our attachment to family, home, relatives, dear ones, because these are the things that bind us to this world. It seems like here it's full of intrigue of family and relationships. And how do we see that fine line of distinction between family and renunciation and also really putting our heart and mind into our family?
I think in Kunti Maharani's prayer, this is very nicely explained. First Kunti says, my relation with Pandavas and Yaduvas, Kṛṣṇa cut. Then Kṛṣṇa looked and says, I am also Yaduva, what do you think? She says, no. My mind should always think of you like Ganga is coming from Gangotri to the Ganga Sagar, to the ocean of milk. And then Prabhupada writes in purport that Kunti is thinking, well, these Pandavas are devotees, Yaduvas are devotees. How can I serve Kṛṣṇa without serving devotees? So how can I cut my relation with my relatives if they are devotees? Then she said, Prabhupada writes, it is only the skin disease that needs to be cut. The relationship should be cut at the level of skin disease, not at the level of, well, if the whole family is devotee, so this whole family is not only devotee, but they are all the eternal associate of Kṛṣṇa. So this family is not the material family. They are eternal associate of Kṛṣṇa. So their pastime teaches us that if our family is all devotees, then like Kunti Maharani, we should have attachment based on Kṛṣṇa, because they all are servant of Kṛṣṇa, therefore we always have relation with them. If they have no relation with Kṛṣṇa, then we have no relation with anybody. So this is a principle for the family. Skin disease has to be treated. But therefore this is the only difference really between the Kṛṣṇa conscious movement and the rest of the religions of the world. The religions of the world are on a bodily concept. Because I am born Hindu, so I am Hindu. You are born Christian, you are Christian. But it's spiritual, Kṛṣṇa consciousness is a movement which is based on the soul. Prabhupada says science of the soul and science of love of God. So we are only the religious movement which is speaking of the science of soul and science of love of God. So it's encompassing, this is encompassing the spiritual movement actually. There's a big difference between the religions which fight and between the spiritual movement which we are. There's a big difference really. And President of India, Abdul Kalam, from Vrindavan, we took a prasad of Janmashtami to him once. And we entered, he said, oh, so you are from? I'm Kṛṣṇa inspired. I said, we are a spiritual movement. He said, welcome. I love spiritual people, but religious people fight. He said, religious people fight. Please, you are spiritual, go and stop this fighting between the religious people, he told like that. So we are a spiritual movement basically. It is beyond bodily platform. Relations are at the bodily platform. But Krishna's relation with Yaduvansis, Yadavas, they are his eternal associate, came from the Dwarka. They are not ordinary person. Only the demigods enter into that for a time being, which will be separated in a due course of time, but the eternal associate will continue, having their pastime. It's okay, sir? My Dandvat. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, this scene which we are seeing here, that Kṛṣṇa has disfigured the Rukmī. Similar thing we see that when the Arjuna takes the vow that I am going to kill Aswatthama. And in the assembly, Draupadi says, Muncha, Muncha, leave him. Yudhishthira Maharaj says, leave him. Bhim says, no, kill him. He's in dilemma. And he looks for the Kṛṣṇa for guidance. Then Kṛṣṇa says, you decide, I won't tell you anything. The same thing at that time, he disfigures the...
That's which is as good as killing, because
Yes.
Kṛṣṇa said, in a Vedas, I said, the aggressor should be killed.
Yes.
Also, I had a principle that Brahman should not be killed physically. So now you are intelligent, you decide, please Draupadi, please Bhima, and please also me. So Arjun was intelligent, he said Brahman should not be killed, shaving his head and taking his jewel is worse than killing him. So he did that. Right? So it's bad. So therefore I say every fortnight we shave, it means we are dead for the world. That is actually the great message that we should take really. We are dead for the world, we are only for Kṛṣṇa. That is the meaning of shaving head. I must shave today.
Prabhu, the question is...
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.